My name is Clive Joseph and I live in Greenford, Middlesex.
I'm Rose Johnson and I come from Boston Manor, which is this side of the Ealing-Hounslow divide.
It's Jennifer Hallal. I was actually born in Shepherd Bush, but I moved to Ealing when I was 6 months old.
George Brooks, Hanwell, Uxbridge, Trinity Road, Coleshire Road, Grange Park, Goldsmith Avenue, in Acton. That's a lot.
Originally, I'm from the Caribbean, a small island called Dominica, not to be mistaken with the Dominican Republic, which it often is. I left there when I was 4.5 years old.
I'm a Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. I came up when I was young. It's still in me, it's in my heart, in my blood, and my family are here as well. There's family in other parts of the world, but mostly here.
My mum's dream was a bed and breakfast, actually, a bed and breakfast hotel, but it didn't work out that way. So we actually moved to Ealing because my uncle had a friend who had a house in West Ealing, and he was selling it, so he told my dad, and that's how my dad purchased the house. And then we moved when I was 6 months to Shepherd Bush, from Shepherd Bush to West Ealing, and I've lived there ever since. I've lived in Ealing all my life, and I'm 63 now.
So how could you afford furniture?
Furniture. I throw partner. When I get the partner, I put it in the bank, not West, in Northfields. And then when I get the mortgage for the house, and I bought the house, then it needed furniture. So I went and draw the money from NatWest and bought the furniture, £500 cash, at MG McGill, Irish furniture shop. There was a furniture shop in West Ealing by the name of McGill. That's where I bought my furniture. So I told the partner £5 a week, and about 10 or 12 of us, I don't remember. But each time you get your draw this week, next week that one gets a draw, and you go right around in circle. Each week a different person gets a draw. So when you get a draw, what you do with your money is your business. But when I get my money, I put it in the bank. When I were to buy the furniture, I had no problem.
It's a funny story, really, about how I came to be living in Ealing. My husband and I had to choose somewhere to live between St John's Wood and Feltham in Hounslow, and we literally put a pin in the map. And fortunately, it came out that Ealing was a perfect choice for us. And from there, we looked at everything to do with Ealing. We drove around and we found we feel the perfect place. Parks, greenery everywhere, lots to do, little town centres. Yeah, Ealing, perfect.
Having lived in Bristol for some 27 years, I decided to come to London to seek fame and fortune. I was an aspiring musician, and the sense was, if I was going to make it, I'd need to move to London to be part of that industry there. I took up a driving job, worked in a company that provided instruments to the BBC, which for me was a dream job because I got to go to the Top of the Pop studios, which is the place that all musicians wanted to get to, Top of the Pops. But unfortunately, my bubble was burst because I saw it from the inside and it wasn't what I expected. On TV, things looked so different. The studio was looked 3-4 times the size, but when I actually got into it, it was more or less like a small room. Everything was orchestrated, and the worst part was that the musicians were not, I would say, friendly, and the whole aspect of the music world was turned upside down for me.
It was difficult finding work. No. Factory. But the two longest service I done was Glaxo and Lions. Spent a long time in Glaxo.
What was it like to work at Glaxo?
Very nice. Very good company. Yeah. But when I worked there, I feel like I'm at home. And Lions was a nice company too. Those two firms were good company.
What made them good companies?
Well, you know, the atmosphere was good. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, never had a problem. Supervisor was all right, and you know, and we all get on very good. Yeah. I usually go to the 100 bookshop and I bought 2 books there. I think one is by a mother too, but I can't find them. But Graham said they are there in the bookshelf. I bought 2 there, Politics of Changes, Michael Manley. He came here and go to Oxford University and come back and Prime Minister, he was a Prime Minister on the island.
Was it important to you to have somewhere to go like that?
Yeah, it was important. And, you know, I usually carry my color, Africa, and African brand. I usually carry the Afro-Caribbean, and I usually carry you see the hairstyle, Afro-Caribbean. I usually carry Afro-Caribbean.
Yeah, so Ealing was a great place to be. I remember, I didn't know it initially, but I found out later on that it was the home of quite a lot of famous musicians. And when I moved to Hanwell, I discovered that that was like the home of this very famous.
I've lived in Northfields, Ealing Broadway, Greenford, Hanwell, Northolt, and Southall.
So which bit is your favorite bit of Ealing?
West Ealing. I mean, I love my childhood memories there. Probably more prevalent than any other area.
Yeah, so you know, I quickly discovered that Ealing, and particularly Hanwell, was the home of the world famous Jim Marshall, who, you know, as everyone knows in the music industry, was responsible for the Marshall amplification, and also well-known musicians would live in Ealing, and famous like Pete Townsend, you know, from the Who and so on. Not named from him anyway, but so that was exciting for me. And then I discovered that, you know, Ealing actually was a place of lots of parks and greenery, and yeah, really enjoyed that. You know, in my downtimes when I wasn't working.
Did you face any challenges?
Yeah, so not initially. I guess with employment, I began to discover that it wasn't an easy route to, as a young black man, to get the kind of jobs that I wanted. And so after I left the BBC, I decided to go into education, and partly, due to my then wife persuading me to leave the music business, get a proper job, and yeah, so I decided to take a course on primary education.
How did you find that?
So that was really good. It helped me to discover things about myself and my history, my background. I've always liked working with young people, and prior to that, I did actually qualify as a part-time youth worker, and I really enjoyed the interaction, with young people. Just I guess because possibly because I never really grew up myself, but I had that availability to talk to them, and it was really great. But yeah, I decided to go into education. I wanted to be at the heart of change, as I became more aware of the challenges that I face as a young black man. I felt that in order to really implement change, I needed to be within the education.
So, did you face any challenges? Did you have any racism, or did that not really affect you?
Didn't really affect me full on, and I guess that's because my character. I've always been able to communicate in any kind of crowd, and be accepted. But I could see, others had difficulties in that area, and so for the most part, I guess I got through without too much, hindrance or issues. But over the years, it became apparent to me certain things when I think back. Why didn't I get that job, or why was there's such a blockage for me? Yeah.
How did you find that?
So that was really good. It helped me to discover things about myself and my history, my background. I've always liked working with young people, and prior to that, I did actually qualify as a part-time youth worker, and I really enjoyed the interaction, with young people. Just I guess because possibly because I never really grew up myself, but I had that availability to talk to them, and it was really great. But yeah, I decided to go into education. I wanted to be at the heart of change, as I became more aware of the challenges that I face as a young black man. I felt that in order to really implement change, I needed to be within the education.
So, did you face any challenges? Did you have any racism, or did that not really affect you?
Didn't really affect me full on, and I guess that's because my character. I've always been able to communicate in any kind of crowd, and be accepted. But I could see, others had difficulties in that area, and so for the most part, I guess I got through without too much, hindrance or issues. But over the years, it became apparent to me certain things when I think back. Why didn't I get that job, or why was there's such a blockage for me? Yeah. So yeah, when I first came to Ealing, I was really impressed with the architecture. I love historic buildings and so on. Because prior to being a musician, I was actually on a course to do designing, draftsmanship and so on. So I have a love of buildings, and I was just impressed, with the wealth of the architecture in Ealing. But over the years, sadly, a lot of the buildings have been, broken down and made into sort of brand new, new builds, and it's lost its character. Central Ealing, In Greenford, where I live, that's been for the most part unchanged. There has been some changes, which I think it's sad. I remember there were annual events, you know, in each of the boroughs, carnivals, if you.
Are you looking at me? Over here. And relax your face. Okay. Sit up straight. So, Dad, you've been in Ealing how many years?
90, about 6 or 7 years.
So how long?
About 6 or 7 years now. About 6 or 7.
You need to be looking at me. Are you looking at me? Okay. It's there, but don't look at the camera. So how long have you lived in Ealing, Dad?
About 6 or 7 years.
Sit up, sorry. Just say I've lived in Ealing
6 or 7, about 6 or 7 years. Retire now. Just go out, do my shopping, come in back, and walk, get my exercise, and come in, nothing more than that now, and have a rest. I used to get tired now.
Mm-hmm. How do you find
The same as before. It's a bit, it's changed a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, because you look which part, where those places was in Ealing, you know, different, all those coastal property wasn't, you know, Ealing changed a lot now.
Mm-hmm. In the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Is it important to you that there is a black cultural space today?
Yeah, it need a space now for black. It need one. Well, it's overdue too. It's overdue. Because these youngsters now growing up, the parents came here, but they're born here. Like a lot of these, my friends, and they have children, and the children born here, but some of them die, and the kids are around now. And that space would be good for them now, have a black space in Eden for them.
Ealing continues to be a good place to live in. There are all the things that one would want. Families enjoy being here. Activities are great. The schools actually have improved, which is fantastic. So it broadly speaking, it's still an attractive, very nice place to live. It's diverse.
But a lot of places closing down. Yeah, a lot of places closing down.
How does that make you feel?
You know, it makes you feel a bit depressed, you know, if you see the country, instead of build up, it's running down. Living here so long and see the changes, but the change is coming because you see where we go by the cafe there, nice flat there, those are nice flat. Well, you know, some places building up and some places going down.
There's quite an increase actually in the diversity. There are more Eastern Europeans. I know that the Polish community have always been here, but we are more diverse, quite cosmopolitan actually. And you see that in the fact that there are younger people using the town centre much more than they did in my early days, if you like. So that's really nice. But I think looking to the future, I would like the council, and I think this is a council, possibly a government issue, and I know there's little money around, but I'd like to see more, a greater variety of activities, of social things accessible to the elders, and I'm now in that group.